Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with yet another closeout convo and yet another challenge recap. This time, not coming to you on a Victory Sunday. Once again, the Waterloo Pinckney Trail has eluded me and escaped my grasp for getting the fastest known time. This time, it was not due to the weather. Well, I guess that's arguable. But not due to the weather as far as, it wasn't real feel of 5 degrees like last time in February. No. This time, it was from getting lost. I have run the Waterloo Pinckney Trail probably, for sure, triple digits in my life. Not the entire thing, but on the Waterloo Pinckney Trail for a run. And I thought that I knew this section well. But turns out, not quite as well as I thought. The first 9 miles were going outstanding. Could not have gone better. I was sitting around 7:30 pace, feeling great. It was a little bit warm and humid. This is on Monday that all this is happening. It was kind of weirdly warm, humid, and windy, but not warm enough for it to be like I'm about to pass out. It was just a little, kind of gross out. Still, I was feeling great about it and had stopped for water one time, but like I said, averaging 7:30, my goal was to average under 8:30. And then at around mile 9.5, after I crossed, I believe it's Baldwin Road, or maybe right before, I run into basically a bog. The trail had been completely flooded from the weekend's rain, and it was basically a giant puddle. And I stopped for a second, I'm looking around, is there any way around this? And I go off to my left, cut through the woods a little bit, but it's really all just a bunch of thorns. And I get to a little opening that's not on the trail. And still, I had this giant puddle between me and continuing. And then now I'm running up against private property. So I'm just standing there and I'm like, we're going to have to go through it. So I just trudge right through, walking and kind of high stepping and getting completely soaked from waist down. And so then I eventually get through it. It's waist high at parts, like I said. And then I'm like, okay, I gotta prepare now to do the rest of this completely wet from waist below. And, socks, shoes, did not have extra of either. So, the mood has been dampened a little bit. And in my head, I'm like, okay, just reset. I've dealt with adversity many times on these challenges. Unexpected. So, continuing on. Then I'm going through the trail, and this part, eventually I come up to a campground. A dog comes running up to me, Franco. Thankfully, he was nice. The owner poked her head out of the tent that she was in and was like, oh, I'm sorry. He's really nice. And I pet him for a little bit. And I see a creek down at the bottom of this campsite. And I'm like, I've never seen this before in my life. I know this section of trail kind of, and it looks nothing like this. So I stop, I find a map, I even pull out my phone, and just trying to find my way back. And I just couldn't, it took me a while to figure it out. I sat down on the bench and looking at it on my phone to try to go back, because now I'm actively losing time. But as I'm sitting there, I'm like, what are we doing? I'm losing time here. I'm soaking wet. I don't know. Once again, this is not going as planned. And so then I start walking out to Mount Hope Road, and then call my mom, who had brought me all the way out there to come pick me up. She was gracious enough to do that for me. And yeah, accepted defeat again, which kind of sucked. But I'm not super bummed about it. This is one that, like, I've really wanted to do, but it's not, like, in my mind, the end of the world if I don't. I guess none of them are. But this one, I know it's always going to be there, right? I have the next 6 months planned out for challenges that I would like to do as of right now, and it is not on the list. The next opening, I guess, is November, so potentially it could be then. But it's always going to be out there, always an option for me to plug in if I don't know what to do for a challenge that month. And yeah, another rough go at it. The only 2 challenges that I have not done since December of 2024 are the 2 Waterloo Pinckney Trail attempts, and I didn't even make it a half marathon for either. How about that? That just goes to show anything can happen, any given challenge. I made it through 60 miles and 50 miles since then, but off to a rough start in 2026 compared to 2025. But that's okay. I will probably take next week off of the closeout combos. Well, we'll see. But soon I'll be discussing my May challenge, which is a 2-parter, so a little tease there. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like I said, I wish it would have gone better, of course, and I'm curious how I would have done, time-wise. But saving that for another day. I only have a 6.8 miler to go. Just finished just a little while ago, like an 8.5 miler. So the week kind of continued as normal. And yeah, talk to you in a bit.